I can feel your heart break. I know it's not okay, but I know you feel like you're gonna break. But don't pull away, and it's okay to feel the way that you do. When you reach the end of yourself, I'll be there too. When you can't trust, I'll trust for you. When you can't move, I'll stay with you. You're not alone, but it's all I can say.
Welcome to Robert's Angels Speak. This is a show we haven't done for a little while, and I'm glad to be back on the show again. And this is a special show, and it's near and dear to my heart. Those of you that have watched previous episodes know that we named the show after my son Robert, who was only with us for 8 days. As a matter of fact, it's just completed the anniversary of his birthday, May 26th. He would have been 27. It's incredible how the time goes by. He was only with us for 8 days, and he passed away June 3rd, so we just completed that. And we're in the month of June right now. And I've got a picture of him in my wallet, and I think about him every day. And you always think about when you lose a child, what might have been. You know, when you lose a parent, you lost a lot of your past, right? When you lose, or a grandparent, when you lose a child, you lost some of your future. And you think of, wow, well, as time goes on, you know, you think about, wow, he would have graduated this time, or he would have got his license this time, or he would have got married this time, or maybe he would have had a child this time. And you think about things like that, and that's something that, you know, sometimes people say, well, you know, you get over it. The reality is you never get over it at all. You learn to live with it. It gets better. No question about that. You don't want to be on that road of grief alone, because that's tough. And people talk about different stages of grief, and people write books about it. And they say, well, these are the different stages that you will be going through. You'll go through denial, anger, and this and that. And I say, BS, okay? You're going to go through this and this and this. It's going to be all over the map. And you're going to be thinking, wow, I seem to be doing good right now. And then all of a sudden, it's feeling like you're crashing the next day. Welcome to grief. That's just part of it. But it does get better. And then you have to understand that you don't want to walk that road alone. You want to surround yourself with people that love you. You know, even though some days you may want to wake up and say, you know what, I just want to be by myself and I don't care about nothing. And, you know, sometimes that's okay to be by yourself, but you don't want to stay there. When you get up in the morning and you don't feel like getting up, you get up anyway. Somebody invites you to breakfast and says, hey, let's get together. They're telling you, I love you, come meet me. You know, even if you don't feel like it, you just do it. You just go. So you have to keep on moving. You have to keep on living. But most of all, as I say, surround yourself with some good people that love you, will encourage you, will be there for you. But most of all, surround yourself with His love. And that's the greatest love of all, Jesus Christ. He will get you through it. Nowhere in the Bible does it say your life is going to be perfect. Right? As a matter of fact, it says quite the opposite. It says, in this life, you will have trouble. But take joy, I've overcome the world. And that's Jesus speaking. You will have challenges. You will have obstacles. We will have grief. Some have more than others. And you wonder how you get through it. Again, the way to do it is to surrender to God, surround yourself with good people. And as I've gotten older, I've lost good friends, I've lost both of my parents, and it's difficult. It's a struggle, and none of us get out of here alive physically. You know, we're all going to leave this earth, but we know in our hearts that if we're believers in Jesus Christ, we know where we're going to be, and we'll meet them again someday. And I look forward to that for myself. when I see my son, however he looks, whether he's an angel or whatever, whatever he is, I know I'm going to celebrate, and I hope that he can say, Dad, you did great, you did fantastic, and that's my goal, and that's the way I want to live my life, to make him proud and to make my family proud. So that's what the show is all about. I'm not a counselor or a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. I just want to bring people on the show that have experienced some tough times, and we've had some great guests in the past, and they've shared their testimonies, and there's been some tough ones, and as you hear the stories, it's like, wow, how do you get through that? And some of them that I brought on the show, I just met on the show. Sometimes you think these things are scripted. I'm learning this stuff and learning about their journey and their life and how they got through that. And when they're on these shows and they're sharing what they've been through, that helps you. And that's what this whole show, Robert's Angel Speak, is all about, to help you, for those of you that are grieving, whether you've lost a parent. We had somebody that came on that was talking about grieving a loss through a divorce. That's tough too. So whatever grief that you're going through, we want you to be able to watch someone on this show and say, okay, I can relate to that. I'm not going crazy. Okay, I will get through this. They got through it. I'm at that stage. I know exactly what he's talking about or what she's talking about, because nobody knows what you're going through unless they've been there themselves. Do you got that? Sometimes when we talk to people that have lost a loved one, we say, I know what you're going through. Yeah, you don't, And sometimes we don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just be there and love on them, because chances are they're not going to listen to your advice or remember what you said. All they're going to remember is that you were there for them, you loved them, and you encouraged them, and that's the most important thing that they'll remember. So we're going to have a great guest. He's a friend of mine that I just met recently, and he's got a lot in common with me. He knows some of my really good friends, and it's a small world, but he's going to share some things that he's been going through. And again, I don't know his full story at all, so that's what this show is all about. We just put you on here and you talk, and you just, sometimes we cry, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we, whatever we do, we're just here to share that with you. So we're going to take a short break, pay close attention to the commercials, and we will have Jody on the show, and I look forward to hearing his story and what he's been going through and how he's handling that. And I know it's going to be an encouragement to you. So we'll see you in a couple minutes. Hey, it's Rich Norton here. You see me on my shows, RMS, Sales Training and Inspiration. And while you see the commercials, you're seeing a lot of commercials about Hands and Feet Foundation. And you're probably wondering what that is. Hands and Feet Foundation is an incredible ministry which I just happened to run across while I was out selling. I drove by and I thought it was a thrift store. I was trying to sell them credit card processing. Well, God brought me to this ministry, and I met Amy first. She introduced me to James. I got, at the same time, ironically, no such thing as coincidence, I was out there and they were just getting ready to serve lunch. I prayed with everybody, and I told them I did music ministry. They called me back 2 weeks later and asked me to come. They said, we've been praying, we'd like for you to come out. I talked to my wife, Lee. She came out. The rest is history. We've been here for about 2.5 years. God has drawn us to this ministry. We absolutely love serving here. We know that we're blessed to be a blessing. So when you look us up, you'll see handsandfeetfoundation.org. It tells you all about this ministry. It's not just feeding the least of these. They're tying veterans into getting housing. They're getting people off drugs. We have safe places for people that are homeless, all types of different programs. Dentists come out here, doctors come out here, psychiatrists come out here. There's something to help people get on the right track, and that's why I love this ministry. To me, this is where Jesus hangs out. So I've got to know Jesus more just being involved in this ministry. So if you'd like to learn more, go to handsandfeetfoundation.org, or also go to Facebook, Hands and Feet Westside. You'll see some of the miracles that are happening, some of the people that are serving here, lots of videos out there. So we love it, and we'd like for you to come and visit us at 7478 103rd Street in Jacksonville, Florida, on the west side. West side is the best side. That's what Johnny Van Sant said, so I'll listen to him. See you next time. We are back. Welcome back to Robert's Angel Speak. I am here with my friend Jody. Great to have you. You're doing fantastic. Great to have you on the show. And
great to be here, man.
It is a special show, and like I was sharing with everybody, it is a show to offer encouragement, you know, to everybody that's out there, and sometimes it can get emotional, and it's okay, you know, when we're talking about people that we love, you know, and we know that if they're believers in Christ, that they're in heaven. But I had a pastor that spoke it eloquently and wonderful, because I had a friend that passed away and died of cancer, and everybody got up there and they were like, we know he's in heaven, it's great, he's in heaven, he's in heaven. And then the pastor kind of brought everything back to down to reality again, and he goes, look, I know this is wonderful, he's in heaven, you know, we celebrate that, but we're sad because we miss him.
That's an emotion.
Right,
Emotion.
yeah, that's because we miss them. We know they're in glory, and we celebrate that. Yeah, we're not going to see them on this earth again, so it's okay to be sad. You know, that's the moment that we're in right now, and it's okay to be sad. So these shows, again, are to encourage you to relate to. We'll have stories that you can relate to, whether you lost someone close to you, a family member, a friend, whoever it may be. We want to have this show here to support you and to have something that you can relate to. So your story, let's get right to it. I just met you several months ago, and we're serving
3 months ago, 4 months ago.
We're serving on ministries together, and it's been great. We're doing some fun things, and it's a pleasure to get to know you and just appreciate what you do.
Yeah, definitely the same here, man. I love you like a brother.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So tell everybody out there, while you're, you know, what you've been going through. Tell everybody out, and you know what your story is.
Yeah. Well, as far as I go, you know, I lost my dad when I was 9 years old, so that was really kind of rough for me. I went through a 2-week period there. I didn't even want to go to school or nothing, because, you know, I didn't want the kids to ask me what happened or whatever. It was a small town. Everybody knew everybody's business, so, you know. And you know, like you said before, it's something, you know, you never really get over. It's always in the back of your mind. You always think about them. It's like I think about that every day.
Absolutely.
You know, I never forget about them.
As a 9-year-old boy, it's hard to even comprehend that, because you know, all your friends, they all got dad around. Most of them have dad around and parents around. Was it something sudden, or?
Yeah. But he wasn't sick or anything. He went to the hospital at night. He told me that, you know, to watch, you know, that I was going to be the daddy to my sisters, and to take care of my little sister, watch over her the most, because she was only 3 months old, and my other sister was a year younger than me. So, you know, he basically told me I was going to be the dad of the house, and I'm like, Dad, you're coming right back. You know, you're just going to the hospital. You'll be right back. You know, I didn't think nothing of it.
Sure, yeah.
But I think he knew inside what was going on. He knew, you know, God wanted him. And I had to come to terms with that. I had to realize, because Dad always, you know, at first, I was thinking, God, why'd you do this? But then after a minute, you know, I went and talked to the preacher and stuff at my church, the pastor and everything. And they told me, if you remember what your dad used to say, you know, that when it's our time to go, it's because God needs us or wants us in His kingdom. And so that kind of made me feel better, and it helped me get over things a little bit. You know, that was a lot of what got me through that one, was just believing in God.
Absolutely.
Even at a 9-year-old age.
Absolutely. Talk about that as, from what you remember. I mean, 9 years old. What did Dad mean to you throughout those 9 years?
Oh man, going fishing, going to the beach, you know, doing Dad things with him, you know, going out and playing frisbee, football, stuff like that. He got out there with us and did everything, you know. That was our dad. We'd go swimming a lot at the creeks and stuff, and had these big swings. I remember him getting up there, and he got me up there one day, and scared me to death. But after I did it one time, that was it, buddy. I was back up and down. I was only like 7 years old, running up down there, swinging off that thing, and just, you know, riding horses and stuff. Just all the wonderful things he did. Dad was a good man. He loved animals. Yeah, he was a good husband. He was great. He was awesome. He loved all his kinfolk and everything. They loved him. It was his time, you know, and it really did. It took a long time. You know, I went through a few losses too. I mean, I not only lost him, I lost my stepdad, and I grew to love him. I've known him for right about 46, 47, 8 years, something like that. And he passed away a couple of years back. He had cancer. No warnings, nothing. It just, hit him, and then he was gone. Weeks later.
You hear a lot of stories like that. So 9 years old, and what a big responsibility when Dad tells you you're the man of the house.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What do you do?
It was a hard thing to swallow, because really, I didn't. The whole idea didn't bother me. It was the fact that I wasn't going to see him anymore.
Right.
And I was trying to swallow that, and I don't know. It was a really rough experience.
Talk about the first, because you mentioned about your stepdad. So your mom remarried, right? How long after that?
Probably about a year, maybe 2 years after that. She got married, and we moved to Fernandina Beach. With my stepdad, he was a dock master, loved him to death. I mean, there was some animosity at first because, he was trying to take the place of my dad, and I wasn't into that right there at first.
Sure, which is understandable, because I was going to ask you about that. What, your dad's gone, and then another guy steps in. It's like automatically, I would think there would be like a wall that would come up because this guy's trying to take my dad's place.
But he was always like a friend to me. Always like, he always, no matter how bad I was or mean I was or how I treated the situation, he was always really wonderful. Always.
Yeah.
And I do remember that a lot about him. He was always good to moms, always good to us kids, and he took the responsibility of 3 kids that weren't even his.
That's incredible.
And then he had a son of his own with Mom, which he's pretty awesome too. I mean, we don't see him very much, but I love my brother. I wish he'd come about some of my sisters too, but things are going to change. Everything that you go through, it makes a difference in your life. Even like somebody dying, that can affect you in good or bad ways.
Yeah.
And there was a few times there, like my best friend, he died last year, a little over a year, and I handled that the wrong way. I went out and got drunk, and took a bunch of pills, ended up in the hospital for quite a while, and I just didn't want to be around him more because he was gone. He was my best friend for 48 years. And it was rough. It was rough too, because he was like a roommate and everything.
Sure.
Best friend, always there. So,
like a brother.
Yeah. He always preached the word. He never, he never drank, did any drugs or anything like that. He was just perfect, wonderful.
Yeah.
But he had blood sugar problems, so that's what happened to him. Blood sugar dropped, and he didn't have nobody around to help him. Fell and died like that. And it made me feel rotten because I wasn't there. I blame myself.
Yeah.
And
That's
a lot of people do that.
They do that.
Yeah.
What do you tell people when they go through that and they do blame themselves? How do they handle that? What do you tell everybody out there, that anybody that might be thinking those thoughts, like, man, if I was only there, I should.
I know, because you think if I changed just this one little thing, it'd still be here. You know what I mean?
Right.
If Dad would have went to the hospital the day before, because we tried to get him to, then he still would have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's always that little bit of blame, the what if, in the back of your head, but don't think that, because that's not what God does. God has His plan. He has His reasons for everything, and that's. I know for a fact that my dad, my stepdad, and Roger, they're up there with God. I know that.
Yeah.
And each time these things happened, I had to deal with them. I just lost my Uncle Leroy a week ago. I handled it so much different. I mean, I was praising Jesus that he got to go home.
Yeah.
And the other times, no, I wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have seen me doing that. But where I'm at in my life now, that's what I did.
Yeah. It's a much better feeling, right?
Well, I know God.
Yeah.
I know him really well now. He's getting to know me a little better. Well, he knows me better than I know myself.
That's right.
So,
he knows every hair on your head.
Yeah. So I mean, me, truthfully, I'm really getting to know him and the wonderful things that happen around me, like being around good people. I've met you guys, and ever since I have, it's been a wonderful experience. It really has, and I enjoy it.
It's nice to see your walk grow as all of us together, because I talk about that. We're in this together. We're on the journey together. we all fall short. You know, we all need encouragement. We all need help along the way.
Yeah.
But what has helped you to draw closer to God?
To be honest with you, a lot of, like, my dad, when I first started going, he brought us up in church. Not so much my mom, but my dad. My mom said she'd get embarrassed when she went. So that was her excuse. But she did read the book to us. When we were little, she used to read the Bible to us all the time. But that right there is what started it, put the fuel in there. And then just me being able to reach back and use that as a tool to help me get through things helped a lot. And coming to hands and feet. You know, I was out there on the street. I went 8 months last year clean and sober. Got with a girl that wanted to have one drink after being clean and sober for 8 months, and then that was it. You know, one's never enough.
Yeah.
One's never enough. So, you know, I was drinking there for a little bit, and I went and moved in with my son and stuff, and I was still drinking there. I moved in with my daughter, still drinking there, and I decided I'd come over here. And I came over here, and I seen a little bit what you guys had over here. And it reminded me of last year when I was clean and sober, how good it felt to be around good people. And I said, well, you know, this is what I want. I want this back in my life. So it was a rough road. There was a time or two when I had me a little, you know, I went like 2 weeks and I had me a nip. But I wouldn't sit there and get drunk. I just had me a shot or two, which I couldn't never do that before. Now I don't drink at all. I haven't in about 2.5, 3 months. And,
Congratulations. Good
and
job.
But you know, every day, you know, is another day. I mean, and I just pray every morning that it doesn't enter my life again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it will or won't, but I know in my heart I don't want it.
Right.
And I pray to God to help me with it every day.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. And it is, it's a daily thing where you just surrender that to God. And
Yeah,
say,
it is.
God, you know, get me through this day.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
get me through this day. And He'll guide you, He'll direct you, He'll keep your path straight. And when the temptation comes, that's where you just got to yield to God and just say, it's all you. It's
Yeah.
all about you.
Yeah.
But so good information. And tell everybody out there, for anybody that may have been experienced, maybe they've lost. You're speaking to someone right now that
Yeah.
lost a parent. And I know there's a bunch of people out there that are experiencing that right now, or lost a close friend.
Yeah.
And they're having trouble. As a matter of fact, a prime example is my daughter. One of her best friend's boyfriend was just killed in a car accident, and she had to experience that loss, and she's never experienced the loss of someone really close as a friend. And that's why I encouraged her. I said, look, you know, when you go through bad things like this, God, He's always there, but He's going to bring good things out of it.
Yes.
And through this, her girlfriend, best friend there, said after the funeral, hey, I want to draw closer to God. Can I come to church with you? So that's a prime example of something good can come out of something that's tragic. But it's a difficult thing, you know, for somebody that's out there right now and experiencing a loss of a parent or a friend. What's your encouragement to them?
Well, if you drink or if you do drugs, stop. Because it's not the thing. Try to find you a good church home to be in, you know, and worship God. Just believe in Him. Get around the right people. If you're out there in the world and you don't know which way to go, you think nobody cares about you. You just lost the one that did. There are other people that care about you. You know, hands and feet here, they do. This guy here, he does. Richard's awesome. You know, my buddy Bruce right there, he cares. Mike, the owner of American Hearts Radio, he cares. So you just got to put yourself back in that position and look in the mirror in the morning if you have to. Make yourself believe that you're an awesome person. Just tell yourself, like he said, encourage yourself every day. I mean, I do that. I had to do that. I mean, I really did, because I felt bad about myself, you know, when I lost my best friend. When you lose somebody like that, you don't know how to deal with it. Deal with it, you know. Open up your book, the Bible. Wherever it falls, start reading it. You know, that's what I do. I'll just open it up. Wherever it falls, I'll start reading it. Usually that's what I need to read. That's usually and it usually lands on something that I'm dealing with. So, encouragement and keeping yourself around, if you've got family, to keep yourself around that would be good. I've got a wonderful family, and I miss them, but they're seeing the change in me because of what I've been through, being a little distant now, which it took a long time for me to lose their trust, so it's going to take a little while for me to get it back. But once they figure out that I'm on the right path, they're going to be okay. Right now, I'm okay because I know where I'm headed. God's got me. So you just keep your head up every day. God's got you. God's got you.
Yeah, God's got you. God's got this. I always say that all the time. But thank you for sharing your
so
testimony.
welcome, I appreciate that.
You're a blessing, and glad to know you. Glad to call you brother and friend.
Same
I
here.
know that your story and your testimony has certainly encouraged people out there, and I want to thank you for being on the show and being transparent, because sometimes it's difficult to kind of put you on the spot and you're reliving some painful times, but I know you're doing that because it helps you, but it's also even more important encouragement for people that are out there going through a difficult time, grieving right now. So
there's a lot of people out there.
A lot of people that are. I mean, it's a tough world, and as Jody said, surround yourself with some good people. We're filming this here at Hands and Feet Foundation in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're in the area, 7478 103rd Street. They feed people daily. They love everybody. Doesn't matter where you're at. They love you right where you're at right now.
Come as you are.
Come as you are. And you're going to feel the love of Jesus Christ here. You're going to feel the love of his people, and people that are going to lift you up, support you, encourage you. And so thank you for being on the show, brother.
Yeah,
and,
I appreciate it, brother.
Yes.
God
And
bless, man.
I hope this show encouraged you, and we look forward to many more episodes. And you can reach me at any time at 904-434-4635. Thank you for tuning in to Robert's Angels Speak, and we'll see you next time. God bless.
God bless.
Well, I can feel your heart break. I know it's not okay, but I know you feel like you're gonna break. But don't pull away, and it's okay to feel the way that you do. When you reach the end of yourself, I'll be there too. When you can't trust, I'll trust for you. When you can't move, I'll stay with you. You're not alone, but it's all